So today we are doing the almighty farm tour, or homestead tour, garden tour, a little bit of everything.
It's been a while since we have given you guys an updated tour of everything that we do. So we're gonna kick off right here at the blueberries.
I know it's nothing new, but it's so good to see you.
You can see we already have some coming in, and when those do, we will be picking. And let's move from here down to our kitchen garden, which is right below this, and then we're gonna hit our plum tree that I cannot wait to show y'all. We're gonna take a detour into our food forest. These are gooseberry, and all the way down in this section of the woods, we have food planted that is mostly wild foods, where we can go to it and get whatever we want out of our food forest.
In our food forest here, we have about 10 to 15 different fruits that are growing, and it has dual purpose, as Misty was talking about, medicinally, but also protection.
So when we really leave the food forest area, which we took a detour through, this is the kitchen garden, and this is where I really have the bulk of the things that I grow for so many different reasons growing just right here.
Can't believe I live in your thoughts. I think about you all the time, morning, evening, and midnight. Such a wonderful day.
We're right at the back of the blueberries. This is how we pick the other side of the blueberries, but Misty's probably got 25 to 30 different kind of crops just in this one area.
I may or may not have a problem.
So this is still permaculture zone 1, next to the food forest, the smokehouse, the outdoor living where we can cook.
Yeah, and one of the things that I love about this is, like Colby mentioned earlier, this is not just medicinal stuff. It's stuff that we can roll right out and eat. I've got things out here that can be harvested for lettuce. I have garlic, ginger, turmeric, I have pear trees, crab apples, blueberries, really on both sides. There's so much. Elderberry right behind Colby. There's so much out here, and it has taken time, y'all. This is not something that happens overnight. It takes time really to build up this area. It has been something that we have done in stages where I built up different areas, and one of the things that I have really been trying to do out here is plant stuff like, y'all, when y'all see the yarrow, y'all see patches of it right now. When I actually planted this, it was from a handful, and it has grown and spread, and that means it's giving, and it just keeps giving, and that's what I love. So not only is it giving, it's taking over, it's preventing grass from spreading, and I can take this and share with others as well. The
cool thing about our kitchen garden is we are actually growing things, harvesting, replanting all at the same time. So for instance, right below us, we have onions still growing. However, Misty just harvested onions. We did a chop and drop method to help cover with grass. As things die, we plant new. As these die, this will be sweet potatoes probably for summer. We're always wanting to grow in here and keep the ground covered as much as possible with crops that are actually doing something.
This is probably one of my favorite areas right here. We're still in zone 1, where I have, again, I might have a little bit of a problem, but I plant a lot of stuff, and I do that for a reason.
Look at all these plums. I think Misty actually spends more time out here than she spends with me, wouldn't you say?
I wouldn't say that. But I do enjoy it. You can see I have a couple that are starting to turn. Y'all have been real worried about this tree because last year the frost come in and it killed all of my blooms. It was absolutely loaded, so I was really worried about it this year. We missed it. Actually, a cold snap happened right when we were getting ready to go to the Okie Homesteading Expo, and I was really worried about losing all my plums. Thankfully, when I got back, they were good. We had bouts of bad weather come through, and I have been really worried about this tree. But God has been good to us. We have lots of plums. I cannot wait to kick off and start making plum jelly because it has been a while since some May plum jelly since we lost everything off the tree last year. But as you can see, it's loaded. We are so very thankful. But I'm gonna flip you guys around and show you some of the citrus fruits and stuff that we grow as well, right out here in front of the greenhouse. Guys, they're just in containers. It doesn't take anything special, anything fancy. Then we will quickly stick our head in the greenhouse. There's not much in the greenhouse right now. It is ending towards May in Mississippi, and you can't really leave much in the greenhouse in May.
So from lemon to kumquat to orange to lime, we have a little bit of everything.
I do. I mean, we're kind of in that subtropical area, so we're really able to grow a lot of those things. And when you can put them in pots, guys, it just makes it so easy. Even things that are really unique that a lot of people don't hear about, I've tried to do multi-layers. So if you look in a lot of my pots, like this one, for example, this is my orange tree, but I have toothache down here in the bottom because it grows, it's a short, goes short and out. I have pansies and chamomile growing with my peaches because they can fill in that bottom area, right? I want to be able to utilize all of my soil. I also have, this is another form of amaranth that I have growing with key limes. Same thing with this key lime. I have chamomile and amaranth over on the other side of it. So you'll see that even when I'm growing in pots and I have something tall, I have something growing in the bottom too because I want to be able to utilize that space. We're going to take a very quick run to the greenhouse. In here I have things that, this is cuttings, so we're going to move those out of the way so I don't trip over them. And here I have things that do pretty well. Lavender in the heat, some peppers in the heat, rosemary does pretty good in the heat, a couple of mints. One of the things that I have learned that I don't like to do is take all of my plants and take all of them outside. I try to keep at least one thing of everything in the greenhouse if at all possible. It's kind of like the backup. If something happens to my stuff outside, I always have that backup in the greenhouse.
Tell me what it's like to be circling among the clouds.
You guys saw our pretty much no-till kitchen garden over that area. This is the greenhouse area, and then when you start standing this way, you pretty much are in some type of raised bed. Now, this area is not, it kind of has its own story, but you see where we have kale. I have several things. If it looks like it's dying or looks like there's flowers on it, guys, it's because we let those things go to seed. So in all of my raised beds out here, I have all kinds of different food growing, from green leafy foods to sweet potatoes to strawberries to peppers to tomatoes, strawberries, lettuce. There's all kinds of different things out here. We utilize all of these beds. This is our heavy feeder area where we bring a lot of our rabbit manure, which we're going to get to in a few minutes. You're just not getting that good worm work in these areas. So a lot of our rabbit manure goes right in these raised beds, and we are able to grow so much food just in these raised beds right outside the house.
The beauty of what's growing right here is we have winter stuff like spinach and kales and Swiss chard finishing up. Even to where now we're planting summer crops right on the other side here with sweet potatoes. Onions are still in there. If we can keep this soil covered with natural crops, this stuff will naturally fall down. We'll harvest seeds when we need it, but we're allowing that ground to not get beat down by the sun. We're making it a perfect eco to grow and hopefully bring some worms in.
Right, and it's like Kobe was saying too, as we take up something, because all of this was broccoli, as we take up broccoli, you can see I have one that's almost ready to harvest seeds. So I took up all the broccoli because it was done. We left one for seeds, right? I don't want this left unplanted. We brought sweet potatoes in right behind it. A lot of these things that Colby just showed you, I'm waiting on a lot of these things to go to seed. So as we're eating and waiting on it to go to seed, I will come in and clear some of it out when it is done. Sweet potatoes will come in right behind it, and all of this will eventually be made sweet potatoes. But it's just like he was saying, it's a cycle. As one thing goes in, it plays out, a next thing goes in right behind it.
So we have perennials such as asparagus, the strawberries here growing. Behind that, mulberry, elderberry. what's so cool is we have the bees right here. One of our apiaries is sitting right beside all these crops because they're feeding off of it, also benefiting the crop itself with making sure it's pollinated. But we see lettuce finishing up, sweet potatoes started, kale finishing up, cucumber started, strawberries. Look how beautiful those strawberries are. I may have to eat that one.
Show me what it's like to be circling among the clouds. Because without you by my side, I would be stuck here on the ground. You're lighting up the way, I can see the road ahead of me. I won't be stumbling in the dark. Your eyes are shining like the stars. I was down until you saved me, until you set me free. My eyes were closed, now I see clear as day, and I just want.
Well, that's muscadines, but I'm not getting close to the bees because Misty can walk right through them. If I walk over there, they'll tear me up. We believe in regenerative ag and moving livestock around just about almost every other day. We're moving these animals. These are our steer and one of our bulls. So they're right now in the shade, they're eating a little hay, a little grass, but look at where they're at. They're literally right behind the greenhouse area. The whole point of homesteading and building a permaculture system and building something that's easy to work with, you try to utilize all your space. Cows right here at the back door, being able to utilize them, knowing that they're going to feed us, we're going to take care of them, get them on new grass just about every other day so they can have a good diet to feed us and take care of us too. As if we don't have enough gardens, this is the first of our big in-ground garden. Corn.
Yeah, but I don't do anything up here.
I'm not gonna lie. Corn has been our weak point because we raise organically. We do everything organic. This corn has been fed strictly by our rabbits and chickens only. So it's organically grown. So it does take us, put a lot of effort in there. We've dumped so much chicken manure. I'm just tired of dealing with it. But hey, the corn's looking great. Next to that, we have okra. We have Henderson lima beans right next to that. They just started growing. We've got some cucumbers and watermelons to finish out this big garden. This is just the first of the big gardens.
You can take me high. Feels like I can fly. You can take me high. I can see the sun staring at you when you make that smile.
Y'all haven't seen the video of our story with Lamb, how she's the bottle baby. Y'all go back and check that video out. She is the special one. She's the chosen one, I guess. She is going to be milked, and she has been really good for us, but we really treat her like our baby, and she's kind of like a dog, but she'll benefit us in the future, and we're kind of glad of that.
Feels like I can fly. I don't need anybody, I don't need anybody else. No one will ever take me, no one will ever take me away from you. I promise I will hold on to you. I don't know what I'd do without you.
So you know we're up at the top side of our farm. There's our house way down the hill there. We're by our chicken barn, our pig forest. Now remember, this is where we lost all that timber, all that pine, which was a bad situation, but we're now burning it, making a new pasture out of it. Now next to that is the sheep. The sheep we're keeping in one field right now, rotating in that one field with nets on the outside so that way they can wean their babies. Their babies, if you hear them, are inside the barn. We're making sure we're separating there. These mamas can get a rest before starting the whole cycle over.
Guys, if you see how this squash is thriving, let me tell you, it's because we're able to use those chickens in their mobile chicken coops. And when this is not planted, this is their home. So not only are they tilling it up, they're fertilizing it, and we're able to use that. They're getting free food and they're prepping the ground for our food. It is a wonderful relationship between the two, that we're able to use those birds. They work for us, they give to us, and that is just a great thing.
So next to the squash, this is over 10,000 square foot of gardens. I don't know if you can tell how big it is, but we've got peas and beans planted over here, along with the squash, some contender bush, pink eye purple hull. All those are the ones that grow good here. That's what all these gardens are, and all these rows that are really starting to thrive. Of course, next to the pig forest, and we've got 2 sets of hogs that we're growing here. American guinea hog for the lard, and then of course the commercial hog for the bacon and pork chops, which is the Berkshire Hampshire. You can't beat looking at the view with the lake where we can enjoy fishing as a family. Now we've got the chicken barn right here. Of course, it has the American guinea hog in one side, and then we have the sheep kind of hanging out in the middle, along with the rabbits and chickens, and that's where most of our eggs come from. Their job is egg production, and Misty right now actually has a broody hen, so she's growing hopefully some little chicks in there. But these chickens, again, like Misty said, they have a job, and they are to work the farm. We're still collecting eggs, but really more than that, we want their manure. And behind all this is more cattle fields along with the hay barn. Part of the homestead that we're trying to grow is to be as sufficient and sustainable as possible.
The little ones are the ones that we're actually growing up. Those are going to be the ones that are going to go in our freezer right after the one that we're putting in our freezer just in a couple of weeks. These guys, they're going to be the ones that we're growing up for our next meat source.
So you saw the piglets that we are growing up. They've got about, 6 to 8 months left on them. But this is the older set. This is our male. We keep him separate from the females until we're ready for them to breed back. But
unless he tears the gate down.
Unless he tears the gate down. But you can see this is him, and then this is his son. Actually, this is one of the ones that we'll be processing our next one.
He is definitely ready.
Yeah, he's probably, I'd probably say he's close to 400. His dad's probably about 700. But there's some big old hogs, but they're chilling out. They've got shade. The one thing about pigs, you can move them in a forest. They're gonna clean under it, but you wanna make sure you can give them enough shade so they won't burn. That's the main thing on there. Their skin will burn.
I wouldn't really call this like a food forest, but this is kind of like our backup to our backups. Y'all have heard us talk about that. Another absolutely beautiful blackberries over here. We have muscadines over here, as well as pear and mulberry right here on the other side of the farm. We have more fruit trees planted. They're still in their baby stages, but I know there's pear, I know there's a fig, I know there's plum. I think that's all.
About to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions.
We are literally in a livestock barn. We call this our chicken barn, but now it's got hog in it. It's got the baby sheep that we're trying to make sure they don't get next to their moms and try to let them drop. And of course it has our rabbits in there as well. So all in all, this barn is giving us food, but it's also giving a lot of fertilizer. We keep all our rabbits up so we can get the fertilizer from them, utilizing our crops, again, being organic, and them eating non-GMO organic foods. It allows us to know that we're getting the very best quality food always, even for them. Missy's got a broody hen that she's also raising some chicks with and letting her incubate her own eggs. The American guinea hog are kind of chilling out in here doing the same thing because we have a female. We can't put them with the male, so we're keeping them separate for right now until we're ready to breed back for breeding season. Now this ground looks clumpy and kind of broken up. That's on purpose because we just took a lot of this bedding out, fed our corn, fed all our squash, everything that's heavy feeders, we use this as nitrogen rich. So that's why it looks kind of broken up in the front, because we literally take from them, utilize it in our garden, so that way we're always getting the best quality fertilizer around our crops.
These are my layers that I hatched out. I talked to y'all a little bit about that, along with our red broilers, because you know we don't do Cornish cross here. It has stormed on these birds. We have not lost a single bird since we picked them up from the post office, minus the one that came with scissor beak, which I knew when I looked at it was not going to survive, and that's okay. The rest of them have done great. They're growing up great. We could not be happier with these birds.
Are we crazy enough to have chickens in the front yard and a lamb in the front yard?
It is what it is when you're a homesteader.
Last but not least is our Jerseys. This is Josie, one of our older milk cows. Right next to her, of course, is Gussie, and then we have Dolly, and then their babies. We milk every morning at 4 a.m. and to be honest with you, I overslept this morning, so it was like 5:30, so that was not good.
So much of our farm is really centered around our dairy cows. They are a lot of work. It does mean you're married to your farm. We can't just up and leave, but we wouldn't have it any other way. Guys, we hope that you enjoyed this video. This is just a small glimpse of what it looks like on the outside of our farm. This does not include really anything that we do on the inside, the things that we process day to day doing this farm life. But now as this video really comes to an end, you see them out by the pool, the kids are changing. We've had a fun day of doing volleyball. Now we're about to jump in the pool and call it a day, because at the end of the day, our lives really are circled around farm and family. So if we can give our all to our farm and our all to our family, it makes us content where we're at and what we're doing. We really couldn't ask for anything else, and we are so glad that you guys tag along with us on this journey as we show you all different types of facets of our life. God bless and happy homesteading, y'all.